Good morning. Last night, we received promising news about another potent and potential COVID treatment, a pill developed by Pfizer that may dramatically reduce the risk of being hospitalized or dying when taken shortly after infection, if you're infected. If authorized by the FDA, we may soon have pills that may treat the virus of those who become infected. We have already secured millions of doses, and the therapy would be another tool in our toolbox to protect people from the worst outcomes of COVID. We need to prevent infections, not wait to treat them once they happen. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Without a CBO score, the House should vote, sir?
Did you speak to Jay Powell yesterday, sir?
This is a big deal. It's very exciting to see this coming through, both because of the 89%, because of the big efficacy. And this, just to be clear, we're talking about an 89% reduction in hospitalizations and deaths for individuals symptomatic with COVID. It's also a big deal because these are pills that are easy to take. It's 5 days of taking pills twice a day. So this means people can have these pills ready to go in their medicine cabinets. And if they then discover that they're symptomatic with COVID and they test positive, they can start taking the pills right away and not have to go into the hospital.
So the drug works in inhibiting the reproduction of proteins for the virus. So it's called a protease inhibitor, which kind of is something that helps to denature the proteins into the viral particles that we see. And this drug kind of disrupts that process. So that kind of really makes the virus not virus anymore and really kills the virus at that point.
Because I realize the other question you could ask, and we don't have the answer to, is if you get sick with COVID and you take this new Pfizer pill, what's your risk of long haul COVID? Big question mark. So I don't know if it will protect against long haul COVID. Getting vaccinated greatly reduces your chances of getting COVID at all. And if you don't get COVID, you're not going to worry about long haul COVID. So this does not change the need to get vaccinated. So that's the answer.
No more shots! 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 No more shots!
We don't want no shots. We don't want no shots. We don't want no cards.
No tyranny. Otherwise, take the Statue of Liberty back to France.
The timeline of the COVID illness itself is a fast timeline. Again, going back to HIV, which unfolds over a period of 10 years, COVID really, the incubation period is 5 days, not 10 years. And so it makes it possible to do these studies quickly. All of the participants who were enrolled in the Pfizer study were enrolled between July and September, which is also an important point because they were enrolled during a period when Delta was the predominant variant that was circulating. So that tells us that this protease inhibitor medication treatment from Pfizer looks very effective against Delta, which was another question. But going back to, isn't this too fast? You know, it is only 28 days of data that they're reporting on. It's not what happens to people 6 months later, but it's the kind of information when you've got an 89% efficacy, you say we have to now move forward on this to the next step.
This is slightly different than, for example, the Merck medication, oral pill, comparing both oral pills, which also is a good thing, because if you have two different classes of drugs, it's really a good thing in terms of how they are acting. So their targets are different, and you get more chances. And this is also different than, for example, the monoclonal antibody. So again, we have a different type or different class of drugs that opens up more avenues, more chances of being able to control the infections and viruses more quickly.
With the mayor's office. I know. Are you guys asking permission over here? No? Yes. Okay, so give me 1 second. I wanna make sure people feel comfortable here.
Right now, what I would say is the coronavirus pandemic is a vaccine preventable pandemic. Where this drug brings us is a little bit more closer towards the end of this pandemic. But just think about, if we still have a lot of people who are not getting vaccinated, about 40%, 30%, or some areas more than 50% people in a locality who are not vaccinated, then we still have more than 50% chance of people getting infection. Since this is very contagious illness, a lot of people get this infection. When you look at a data set of like 300, 400 people, you look at nobody got infected, or one person got infected, or 3 people got infected. If you extrapolate to millions, you still have a lot of people who are getting ill. So in the big scheme of things, the important thing is we need to do everything to get rid of this pandemic.